Do you ever lie awake at 3 a.m., heart racing over 1,000 different what-ifs? Does the thought of the future money, your career, your family, the state of the world, just send you spiraling? If so, this story is for you. For years, Noah lived under a shadow of constant dread. What if I lose my job? What if I never find my purpose? What if some disaster strikes my family? What if everything just crumbles? On the outside, he seemed fine. He went to work, paid his bills, told a few jokes, and even sketched out some vague plans for the future. But inside, his nerves were screaming. Every small setback felt like proof that the end was near. He tried to bury this feeling in busyness, but the fear was relentless. It stalked him on his morning commute and kept him staring at the ceiling late at night. Doom scrolling through headlines about layoffs and global crises only poured gasoline on the fire. When his friends talked about economic uncertainty, it just echoed the panic already screaming in his head. Noah thought that having more information would make him feel safer, but instead, it just made him feel more helpless. In those rare quiet moments, in the shower, on the subway, his brain would fast forward straight to catastrophe. He truly believed that if he just worried enough, he could build some kind of armor against the worst. But all it did was drain his energy, destroy his sleep, and blind him to the real, solvable problems right in front of him. The breaking point came on a totally ordinary Tuesday. Whispers of restructuring started circulating at work, and the words hit him like a punch to the gut. Noah's mind immediately leaped to ruin. I'm finished. Everything is gone. His heart hammered, his hands trembled, and he started messing up even the simplest tasks. That night he sat at home, his laptop screen glowing with one doom-filled article after another. Suddenly his chest seized up. He slammed the laptop shut, buried his head in his hands, and gasped, I can't live like this anymore. It wasn't just about the rumors at work. It was the years of bracing for an apocalypse that never came, of feeling safe in absolutely nothing. For the very first time, he said the words out loud, I'm terrified of the future. Just saying it didn't make the fear disappear, but it made it real. It turned it from a vague, shadowy monster into something he could actually face. He'd read somewhere that true resilience isn't being fearless. It's moving forward while you're still afraid. So he reframed the question in his mind. What if I could get stronger, even while I'm still scared? That single thought was the spark that ignited everything. The next morning, he called a therapist. He unloaded years of pent-up fear, the constant threat he felt in every unknown, the sheer exhaustion of living in a future that hadn't happened yet. The therapist hit the nail on the head. She said, uncertainty is life's default setting. Anxiety tries to sell you worry as a form of control, but all it does is waste your power. Real resilience is focusing only on what you can steer. Noah took that to heart. It became his mantra, I can't own the future, but I can own my response to it. And so he began to rebuild his life, one tiny step at a time. First, he learned to intercept the spirals. When his mind started screaming, what if it all collapses? He'd counter it with, that's possible, sure, but what else is possible? And what can I do about it today? He started rewiring his brain to look for balance, to see solutions, allies, and his own forgotten strengths. It felt awkward at first, like flexing a muscle you haven't used in years. But soon, the whispers of uncertainty started to sound more like possibility and less like a death sentence. He anchored himself in the present moment. Whenever fear would surge, he'd pause. He'd take a deep breath. He'd feel the solid chair beneath him, hear the hum of the room, and notice the rise and fall of his own lungs. In this exact instant, I am safe. I haven't lost my job right now. My family is fine right now. The world is still holding together. This simple practice shattered the lie that fear had been telling him. The ghosts of tomorrow are not today's monsters. He built routines to fortify himself. Sleep became sacred because he realized that exhaustion just amplified his dread. He started taking daily walks to shed tension. And he rationed the news quick checks for information, no more doom-scrolling ambush. These were simple shifts, but they had a massive payoff. His body felt steadier, his mind was sharper, and he was ready for real fights, not phantom ones. Connection was another huge piece of the puzzle. He had always hidden his fear, convinced that strong people just stayed silent and handled it. But when he finally opened up to his friends, He discovered a surprising truth. They were all battling the same demons: careers, money, the chaos of the world. They didn't have pity parties. Instead, they swapped strategies that were actually working for them, learning new skills, building backup plans, sharing mindset hacks. Resilience suddenly became a team sport, not a solo mission. So when the real layoffs did hit his company, the fear surged, but it didn't swamp him. He took a breath. He made a list of what he could control, polish his resume, reach out to his network, check his savings, draft a plan B. He took action, and he stayed open to the possibility that this change could lead to something good. Agency replaced paralysis. Months later, the world is still just as wild. Jobs are still ruthless, and life is still brittle, but Noah has changed. The fear is still there, but it's a passenger now, not the driver. He bends with the shakes, he doesn't shatter. He's not uncheckable, he's adaptable. So if fears about the future are eating you alive, your finances, your job, your loved ones, the headlines, hear this: certainty is a myth. But feeling helpless doesn't have to be your reality. You can start now, just like Noah, sort what you can control from what you can't, curate what you let into your mind. Nurture your body, lean on your people, and take one small action today that gives you an edge for tomorrow. This is Will Power Stories Raw Tailies for anyone who's feeling anxious, stuck, or spooked, and who is craving real strength, not just empty fluff. We share motivational journeys through fear to fortitude, from uncertainty to grit, and from flops to fire. All in simple English for Americans ready to evolve. Subscribe to the channel, hit those notifications, and let each story help forge your inner steel for this unpredictable ride we call life. Thanks for watching.